I will tell you that as we're waiting for one more minute, the announcements will be, we're going to do this in a little bit of reverse order, be that, Gil, do you have those? No, you don't. Okay.
Yeah, I can pull them up. Or
I have them. I have them right here. So starting May 21st, the temple will open for in-person services. It will also continue to be accessible via Zoom, which I think is just really, really wonderful. And Museum of the Southern Jewish Experience will have a soft opening on Thursday, May 27th. And then the grand opening will be the weekend of October 2nd and 3rd. Most importantly, on May 2nd, the confirmation class is scheduled, the religious school and confirmation classes are scheduled for Sunday, May 2nd at the regular times. And the next Torah study with Rabbi John Kaplan is scheduled for Wednesday, May 26th at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. So Anne, let's go ahead, and if you could light the candles. Well, first we have Hine Matova, right? We have a song from Christopher and Demi, correct? Okay, so welcome to Sabbath. Okay. Beautiful. Anne, would you, we continue with the service for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And if my sister Robbie is, which she's not, then we will invite Ann Zelniker to light these in a very meaningful way. So our good friend and wonderful congregational member who's led some beautiful services herself, Ann Zelniker.
All right. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with his mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel
Beautiful, thank you. We begin with a prayer for all that is holy in our lives. God needs no words, no English, nor Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, we can sense our inner strength, our inner purpose, our inner joy, our capacity to love. As we reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. to work to make our lives. To love God is to love the world God created and to work perfected. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. And I would like to invite Howard and Patricia to responsibly.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unite us in faith and hope.
For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living.
For Shabbat memories, glowing even in the darkness.
For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love, we offer thanks and blessings, O God.
We now turn to page 8 or 138 for Lecha Dodi. And there will be several verses. And on the 9th verse, if you wish and are able, please stand. So, and this is, beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat.
לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחי דוידי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחי דוידי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחי דוידי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעו זכום בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אליך מיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם לתפארת ולתהילה. לחי דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחי דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי לשלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובסולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לחי דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחי דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
So beautiful and festive and celebratory as we welcome the Sabbath and do so together in our beautiful community, our congregational family. And now we have the Chatzi Kaddish, which will also be sung and performed.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
Exalted and hallowed be God's great name in the world which God created according to plan. May God's majesty be revealed in the days of our lifetime and the life of all Israel, speedily, imminently, to which we say, Amen. Blessed be God's great name to all eternity. Blessed, praised, honored, exalted, extolled, glorified, adored, and lauded of the Holy One, the Holy Blessed One, beyond all earthly words and songs of blessing, praise, and comfort, to which we say, Amen. And those of you who are not standing already, please rise for the Baruch Hu. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Please be seated. And I'd like to invite Jack Freelander and Amy Freelander to participate in First Jack.
Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets, hold on.
No. Okay, you're on.
Okay, my wife said I was muted, but I wasn't. Okay, praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide and of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. Next page, please, 151.
Right here.
Yeah.
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of abiding love
Than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Amo Yisrael.
And we now stand for the Shema. We'll now be seated for the Vahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
You shall love Adonai our God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away. When you lieth down and when you riseth up. You can hear the old Union prayer book coming through in me. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God, Adonai Elohim Emet. And now we turn to page 18 or page 157. And I would like to ask that Harold, can one of you help me here? Are you there? If you would read those passages, each. The first begins in a world torn by violence and pain. Okay. Do you see that? Yeah. Okay. And then each read the next. So the two of you will be like the congregation and the rabbi.
Okay. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
Okay. Emily?
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way, inspired by prophets and instructed by sages. Time and again, we overcame oppressive forces.
And together, though our failings are many
and
our faults are great,
it has been our glory to bear witness to our God,
keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Thank you so much. And now we will hear the beautiful Mi Kamocha from Chris and Demi.
Thank you.
Doesn't music and song lift our spirits and inspire us? Priscilla, could you please on 161, read the passage that begins, "Give us a place to rest"? Okay.
Place to rest. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over your shelter of peace. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai hafaris Shabbat shalom aleinu. Va'al kal amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim.
Thank you so much. It was very tender and meaningful. And we now have the beautiful Vishamru. It's a melody that you can't get out of your heart and mind once you hear it. Okay. Thank you so much. I had said Vishamru, but I had asked for the Hashkivenu, and it's a beautiful, beautiful melody. Also the one that just stays with you. I hope it does all weekend in a way and just lifts you up in this beautiful spring weather that we're having. So we now stand for the text is on page 123 or 23 or page 164.
Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the falling, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, sword axe? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed art you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh Hakol Hakol. And now we go to page 27 and or 170. You are holy, your name is holy. Those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Makadesh ha-Shabbat. And now we turn to page 29, page 175. And I would like to invite Leslie Peters Belenich, my niece, coming to us from Nyack, the mobile congregational, to give a reading. Beginning, you are with us in our prayer.
Okay. I'm actually in Haverstraw, but that's okay. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otaka levad ha b'yara navod. There's more? Yes. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life. wonder beyond words for the awareness of soul, our light within, the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Harod Shemcha Ucha Na'eh Lahadot.
Thank you, Leslie, for that beautiful recitation from Nyack, Greater New York. Very much part of our congregation. Grew up so much in Mobile with all of us, and her dear mother, Becky, and my sister. And now we hear from Chris and Demi with the beautiful Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim, Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim, Le'olam. Ki ata melech adom, lecha hashalom. Ki ata melech adom, Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Le'olam. וטוב עיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim, Tasim
So beautiful. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarach et mo, Yisrael b'shalom. And now we pray silently, either the words of our prayer book on page 180 or 32, or any prayer that you wish. And then we'll have the Mishaberach prayer for healing after that. We now turn on page 34 or 371 to prayers for healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And these are the names on the Mishaberach list. Just a moment. I'm so sorry, I have so many papers here. Do I have them? Yes, I know I have them here somewhere. Sometimes people would say I would be a very good rabbi, but you see, I wouldn't be a really good rabbi at all. So, I want you to sing Mishaberach while I find the names, and then I'll say the names. Okay. Great.
Be the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, Makoh habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Our prayer for healing includes Molly Adams, and we certainly say a prayer for Molly, who we've heard sing so many beautiful Sabbath services. Paul Bradley, Rafi Breen, Mac David, Harold Fink, Robin Gottlieb, Eli Cromers, Robin Mayer, Mary Muchnick, Mark Schoenfeld, Mark Siegel. And I'd like to add the name Eli Evans. Are there any other names that people would like to add?
Courtney Cook and Alice Glass.
Mark Carroll,
Jennifer Sundberg,
Judith Rhodes,
And I would like to offer a Mishaberach for the continued recovery of Rob Belenich from his liver transplant. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I'm now going to give a short talk on a subject that has interested me a great deal over the years, ever more so as I age, and that is on the topic of prayer. I titled my talk Remembering to Pray because, in fact, I wrote an essay several years ago that was published in a big market and had hundreds and hundreds of people responding, telling me about their own experiences with prayer. And what's occurred to me as I look back on this piece is that each of us has our autobiography, which is biographical, and each of us has a kind of a spiritual autobiography, right? What prayer means to us, what it meant to us when we were young, what it has meant to us as we've gotten older, what it means to us today. And we all come together, and for this hour or so, we will spend our time in prayer. And each of us will still continue to wonder and to ask, what does it mean to pray? And this has been my experience. Remembering to pray, and this was in the New York Times in 2014. Sometimes towards the end of day, I jog on a beach nearby on Mobile Bay. As the sun is sinking, I look out at the pelicans wheeling in the sky, the fishermen on Fairhope Pier casting their nets, sailboats and channel markers changing to silhouette. Like many who make their way here to enjoy sunset, snapping photos, relaxing on benches, I find this light on water a joy to behold. I breathe deeply as I run and feel happy just to be alive. I'm in good health, enjoy a loving family and many trusted friends. I have worked as a journalist, novelist, teacher, had great jobs, lost others, made money, lost money. I've traveled the world. On this day, I sprint up a hill and come to a promontory looking out to the sweep of the bay, and another impulse comes up in me. It is not enough for me to take a photo, to call a friend or jot a line in my notebook. Like the light, the feeling is orchestral. It's a welling up of emotion. I want to speak in a way that used to be easy for me as a child, silently, intensely embracing the mysteries. I want to pray. It is a matter of remembering after so long just how. Lighting Sabbath candles, being bar mitzvahed, participating in the temple youth group, I grew up in Mobile with a clear sense of religious convictions. As a Jew in the Bible Belt, I was in a minority, and many of you know this experience. 9,000 of us in Alabama, a state of 4 million people, a quarter of them Southern Baptist. While some Christians prayed for me, even preached to me because I was not saved, others were curious, respectful, even reverential. I was, after all, often the only Jew they knew. A Jew in the South is always teaching, I was reminded by my North Carolina friend Eli Evans, the author of The Provincials, A Personal History of Jews in the South. So as years went on, I took a course in comparative religion, enjoyed religious holidays, Passover in particular, and identified proudly with my faith. But somewhere along the line, I'd stopped truly praying. I wasn't sure about God at all. I was busy. The matter seemed irrelevant. The biggest fight I ever had with my father was shortly after I turned 21, when, drunk on a bottle of whiskey a friend had given me for my birthday, I proclaimed disdainfully to him that I was an atheist. He followed me into the backyard and confronted me. His parents, he said, had fled Eastern Europe because of their beliefs. Who was I to dismiss them? I expressed my contempt for all that was conventional. His faith, I told my father, was a crutch, an opiate. I'd heard that somewhere before. In the decades that followed, awed by time's extremes, becoming a parent, losing a parent, and feeling my own mortality, I eventually found my way back to believing, but for a long time, not with the same fervor. Working as a writer for my hometown newspaper in Mobile, I was asked to cover the religion beat. For the next 3 years, until becoming a casualty of news playoffs, I carried my reporter's pad into a plenitude of Catholic and Protestant churches, Mobile's 2 synagogues, a mosque, a Buddhist temple, and the homes of Hindus and Baha'i. Southern Baptists, Missionary Baptists, Church of Christ, Church of God, AME Zion, Mormons, Christian, Scientists, Episcopalian, Methodists, Presbyterians, Anglicans, Greek Orthodox, Pentecostals, Holiness, non-denominationals. The Deep South's religiosity was everywhere. broke my heart, like the one of a Methodist pastor in North Alabama who had to find strength in her faith when her little girl was killed in a tornado, and others that intrigued me, like the jailhouse conversion of a Klansman. When I shadowed a hospital chaplain, I watched patients perk up at his arrival. During Ramadan, invited to the home of a Turkish couple to write about their meal after a day of fasting, I appreciated their devotion to Islam. I became fascinated by the intensity and all varieties of prayer. There were themes that came through. I'm thankful. Bless those in need. Help me to do better. While religion can divide people and be wielded like a cudgel, it can also be nurturing and sustaining, I remembered, and it can bring people together. I recall a public interfaith prayer service to raise funds for the victims of the earthquake in Haiti, another to buoy people's spirits after the Gulf oil spill, yet another to commemorate the anniversaries, 10th, 11th, 12th, and soon the 20th of September 11th. And I've had my share of people praying for me, never asking about my own beliefs. After 60 years of cloistered life in a convent in Mobile, 4 Carmelite nuns visited with me one afternoon to tell me about their lives devoted to prayer. Sister Rose, Sister Marie Therese, Sister Genevieve, and Sister Elias, average age of 80, were no longer able to sustain themselves. They just moved into a nun's retirement home. They told me about their decade behind the enclosure and how they had learned of people's needs while staying isolated behind high walls. As we felt their sweetness and intensity, in prayer they had found their calling. In prayer they had spent their lives. When we said goodbye, they said, God bless you. Our backgrounds and our faiths couldn't have been more different in a way, and yet feeling very much the same in our feeling. I felt lifted up. People's prayers have made me feel closer to my own, closer to the prayers in this very congregation. I love the recitations at our Sabbath services, the communal feeling of voices raised in Hebrew and English, and the cantor's chant, and the piano, and the hymns, the music we've heard this evening. And some prayers in the sanctuaries of my making, like the Bay at Sunset, or the ones I compose. Lines of psalms, images of nature, meditations that flow from the moment at hand. They move through me, silent yet resonant. They provide me on the pilgrimage of a simple afternoon, a sense of exaltation. Dear God, I write, whatever we call you, wherever we find you, and the laughter of our children, the tenderness of our parents, the strength of our brothers and sisters and friends, the closeness of our companions and husbands and wives, in the arc of the pelican, the leap of the mullet, the perfect sunny day, or incoming storm, in whatever ways we understand you, in a church or synagogue or mosque, in the art that uplifts us, the music that inspires us, or on a beach beneath a starry sky, we offer gratitude for this day and all we have, our bounty of food, our treasure of community, our gift of here and now. On this day, as all others, we commit ourselves to live more fully, to love more fiercely, to honor the memory of our loved ones and ease the burden of those who suffer, and to cherish our brief time here every way we can, and to be profoundly grateful. Let us take another moment and in silence, each say a personal prayer. Now let's look around together. What a spectacular world, a cherished time it is ours to live in, to celebrate, to embrace. To the spirit above, the light within, and the miracle of each other, we say, thank you. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. Peace. Amen.
That was beautiful, Roy. Thank you.
Thank you. And I've asked Chris and Demi to sing a song that was very meaningful to my sister, recited at her funeral, and I know many of you love this, from Ecclesiastes.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to love, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
Thank you so much. And we now go to the Elena. We rise together. Let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Therefore, we bow in awe and thanksgiving before the one who is sovereign over all, the Holy and Blessed One. We will now move to the Kaddish portion of our service. And before we read the names, I would like to ask my sister, Robbie Hoffman-Nadash, who's with us here from Chapel Hill. She's an out-of-town congregational member, like me, raised by Rabbi Bloom here, to read one of the meditations beforehand. And please unmute yourself, Robbie, and read that.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes? When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes, not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
We recall now our loved ones who have departed this earth and entered into the peace of life eternal. This week we read the names: Ralph G. Hallberg Sr., observing this yahrzeit, Mrs. Amelia Hallberg, Ralph Hallberg III, and Sandy Hallberg. Rosalie Rossner, observing this yahrzeit, Mr. and Mrs. William Sussman. Alma Frank, observing this yahrzeit, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Frank. David Gardberg, observing this yahrzeit, Naomi Gardberg and Suzanne Franchetti. Elia C. Rotella, observing this yahrzeit, Mr. and Mrs. Howard Silverman. Becky Hoffman, observing this yahrzeit, my wife Nancy and I, my sister Robbie, my nieces Meredith, Marisa, Leslie, her son Scott, all of us. And for each of you, please know that as I get older and I see things and people that I know, vision them. It's no longer in the prayer book, but when I was a boy in the Union prayer book, it was said that in the Kaddish service that people lived on in the memories and in the thoughts and eyes and hearts of those who remembered them and loved them. And certainly we will do that with each other well into the future. Are there any other names that would like to be added at this point? Anyone else wants to add a name?
Ted Peterson.
Okay. So we now stand as possible for the Kaddish. And as I recite it, please recite it in your own homes. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon, Uvkaye de Kol Beit Yisrael, Begalal Uzfan Gari Vimru Yehe Sheme Rabba Mivarach Leolam Umaya Almaya. Yit Barach V'yis Babach V'yis Napar V'yis Raman Say. V'yit Hadar V'yit Halel V'yit Halal Shemei Dekutsho Barichu. Leelo Min Kol Birchata B'shirata Tushbatacha V'necha Mata. Demran B'alma V'imru Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chayim Aleinu V'yokol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mrama. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. V'yokol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. May the one harmony on high bring peace to us all and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. And we will now conclude with the Hamotzi and with the Kiddush. And we began with offering a few announcements since we got a little bit of a late start. But I would like to say, in terms of my own evolution with prayer, that there's another chapter to it, and that is the way I've begun to feel, as many of you, the stalwarts, and others, by being asked and having the opportunity to lead a few services, some in the little chapel and some here on Zoom. And I want to thank Nate Ginsburg and Silverman for having organized this all of months. It's been a long time. I know there were opportunities, but you know, for most of us, since we were bar bat mitzvah, really haven't had the chance to stand on the pulpit, you know, behind the bima, or in our virtual sanctuary here. So I want to thank each of you for your sense of community, and say that my sense of prayer now takes on yet another phase as I move into my grayer and grayer years away from my youth, and perhaps, like all of us, contemplate those mysteries, because not only do they weigh more heavily on us, but in some ways the sense of time and the hourglass quickens that sense of the miracle of it all, you know, doesn't it? And I can see so many of you nodding. So I will say the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And Chris, is there anything else to sing?
Well, I mean, we could sing the rest of it, or we can just go on to the Hamotzi.
Let's go on to the Hamotzi. Let's go on to the Hamotzi. Nancy, would you bring the bread, please? I need the bread. Would you bring the bread, please? Yeah, he did. And Nancy and I are here. Nancy and I are here with the bread. I kid her. It's like when you watch Stephen Colbert and his wife is just always off camera and he always introduces her. would you? So let's all together sing. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. And with that, we'll all take a piece and we'll say good Shabbos. And we'll say,
Do you have the wine?
Amen.
Amen.
Everybody unmute and please welcome and greet each other for Shabbos.